Hello, guys. Welcome back to your weekly podcast, is Wigan Weekly, where me and Curtis talk about all things Wigan Athletic. How are you doing, Curtis?
I am doing great, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate.
Very good. So today we've got a packed episode. We'll dive into our thoughts on the Chesterfield game, preview the big clash against Bolton away, and take a look at the latest headlines on the internet about the Latics. So stick around, it's going to be a good one.
It sure is, guys. So let's get straight into it. We'll start with the Chesterfield game. It was quite the goal fest. Obviously got beaten the odd. What do you think about that, Curtis?
I think quite simply it wasn't good enough. Why was our main goal from Kalmark? We're relying too much on him.
I mean, he is consistent. For the age of 32, maybe 33, he's a very consistent footballer.
Yeah, and I mean, was it Hugill that scored in the added time? It was, wasn't it?
It was McManaman and Joe Hugill. Obviously, thankfully, no past Wigan player scored. No Will Grigg scores. That was all right.
Yeah, that would have been an ultimate nail in the coffin. I'm not happy about the result, but that would have done it even further.
Yeah, that would have really been a big kick in the stomach, but it is what it is. We move on, I guess.
Yep, we certainly do.
In terms of the stats, we actually got outplayed, really. They beat us 65% possession to them, 35 to us. They had about 200 passes more than us. Yeah, not good enough, really.
No, especially against the League Two side. I know our club's got a record against being bad against the bad teams and being good against the good teams, but I don't think it's good enough. We're 3 losses on the bounce now. It's not good. We need to sort of have a turnaround.
It's not. But thankfully, it is one less trophy to not worry about. Obviously, we still got the FA Cup to go, so there's a bit of pressure.
I would agree with you there. The FA Cup is certainly a more important trophy, but it would have been nice to stay in that trophy because it gets more games in for the youth. Some more experience.
Yeah, it does. But obviously, the FA Cup, guys. That's where that's where I think the quality's got to come in, especially when you're playing against Championship, Premier League teams. But it's what it is, really. So up next, it is, of course, Bolton away tomorrow afternoon. Excited, Kurt? Nervous? What are you thinking?
Obviously, it's going to be an interesting one. We've had a lot of look at Bolton with this fixture in the past sort of 10 years where we've either had a win or a draw. But with the recent form, I'm a little bit worried about how we might go with this one.
Yeah, I've been saying it quite a lot. I think with this game, it's not really... I don't think form really counts. I think it is just more who's more up for it, to be honest.
Yeah, especially in February at home, we sort of got outplayed, I think it was in the stats, but it was only Stephen Humphries that was able to capitalise on, when he had the ball.
We also, we got outplayed in February, and I think Bolton have had... Bolton, I wouldn't say they've had a great season this year, but they're doing better than...
No, I would certainly agree with you that they had a much better season last year because they were up there. They were in sort of the promotion spots for all of last season, whereas now they're sitting 1 point away from the playoffs. So yeah, they've certainly not had a bit of luck this season under Ian Evatt. But like we said, we're not in great form, and obviously we've just had pure luck with this fixture in recent years, especially last season at their ground 4-0.
Yeah, we've had a bit of luck. Especially last season, because I feel like, we were nowhere near each other really in terms of league placement. So I think that is something that I do actually bring up because let's face it, last season we probably shouldn't have beat them twice last season, but we did. So, you never know.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, when we talk about all our fixtures, yeah, we can have a lot of the ball or not have it, but it's more about what you can create when you've got it, not about how much you've got it. If you had I was looking on the EFL website the other day, and 2 of our players are in the top 3 for making passes. It's if the league was about making passes, we'd be getting promotion.
We would be, yeah, we would be. But I think it was Kieran Aimson, wasn't it? And
yeah, it was.
That doesn't surprise me because the amount of times that you see them passing the ball and making bad decisions, it's not a surprise.
Yeah, right. I tell you what, I'll pull it up now and we'll go through it.
I do actually. While you're in that case, Is there any Bolton players that strike you as being quite dangerous tomorrow, or players that worry you a little bit?
I think Aaron Collins is the main one that comes to my head because hasn't he been a frequent goal scorer for them?
Yeah, he's doing well this season. It's the second season. He's doing much better this season. I mean, I think a player that also stands out is also Ricardo Santos. He is a dangerous defender, probably arguably the best defender in League One. I think his strength is pure strength, and I think his playing style makes it easy to get. Does not make it easy to get past him.
Yeah. So I've pulled up the stats. So, the passes by player. The top player with the most amount of passes is a Birmingham player called Christoph Clara, I think it is, who's done 1,409. But second and third is Will Ameson and Jason Kerr, who have done 1,240 and 1,215 respectively. Which is ridiculous.
It doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest. I've said it a few times now. It feels quite obvious, really, because when watching a game, you do see Jason Kerr involved a lot in terms of passing the ball back and forth. But yeah.
Yeah, but then if you sort it by team, we actually sit fifth.
Yeah, we do. But I think that I mean, it does show that we're comfortable passing the ball, but it doesn't really.
Being back there with the ball isn't going to do anything. It's about going forward and being comfortable with it.
That's what I mean. I mean, we are comfortable playing football, but we're not comfortable getting goals and defending very well. So it's a bit of. I mean, you can't have the best of both really for us. We're struggling to get the best out of both.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. It's like when people at the beginning of the season said push for playoffs. Yeah, with the way we're playing, not a chance.
Yeah, I mean, reading Sportsmole, which for me one of the more reliable websites for football news and predictions and team news, etc. They reckon it's going to be Bolton 2, Wigan 0, which is a fair prediction. Although I feel like people are forgetting the form. We've beaten Bolton in every competition since 2015 onwards. So realistically, there has to be some sort of reason we're winning. I think you have to give some sort of credit to Wigan and think we'll win it. I mean, think we'll win or get a draw.
Yeah, well, that's it. Our dry streak of not getting any league points has got to run out at some point. Whether that be tomorrow is a different question. But as we've said time and time again, we've always had so much luck in this fixture recently.
We have, and if we win tomorrow and we claim Brigham rights, it'd be a great feeling, especially so close to winter period. 11 days for Christmas. Yeah. It would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Santa, please slip 3 points under the tree for me.
Yeah, Santa baby. If you're up there, Santa, bless Wigan and get us a win.
And give us another 3 against Shrewsbury next week.
Yeah, please do. I love that. Obviously, I mean, in terms of a starting lineup, have you read the article, Kurt, about our lineup? I'll go through it.
No, I've opened it up, but would you like to take us through it?
I will. So the reckoning goal, Sam Tickle, that's going to happen in it. There's no way he won't play.
I'm going to say, don't put what's his name on there.
Tom Watson.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, he did us good against Nottingham Forest, but
that
Chesterfield game, I feel the same way I did after the Morecambe game.
Penalties, he's the reliable man when it comes to pens. But apart from that, I wouldn't say too much more about him, to be honest.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
But it's a tickling goal. I think formation-wise, I reckon either 4-1-4-1 or 4-2-3-1. But by the looks of things on here, it looks like 4-2-3-1. So tickling goal. We've got Civic at right back. I don't know if I agree with that. I think James Carragher's worthy of getting a few more minutes in the tank. He's not played for a while with a bit of injury, but he did play against Chesterfield. I mean, he did do great, but he didn't do badly either. So I think he might be in with a chance. Centre backs, Kerr and Ameson. I don't think it will be anyone else. I mean, you'd be surprised when if you don't see them two starting it.
Yeah, it would be a surprise.
Left back, Paul Dummett. Hopefully, we do see him. I'll take that. Obviously,
I think with a fixture like this, we need as much experience as we can get.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen much Paul Dummett. I mean, I wouldn't say he's done much so far, but he's not actually made a full start yet. So
yeah, he needs to make a contribution, and I think, especially when we look at it, none of our players. No, hang on. How am I phrasing this? Basically, all the people who scored against Bolton last year for us have all left.
Yeah, they have.
So we need that experience.
We certainly do. In terms of midfield, they reckon Babradiko and Matt Smith. I would take that. I think Matt Smith, good. Adiko, good, but when he wants to be a bit inconsistent. But I think at the end of the day, I think Jensen Weir, I can't see him playing. He'd probably be benched. So I'm sure Baba will come in. As for the wing, a lot of people were pretty presumptuous about Cal Mack, but I think he will start against Bolton. He's been rested a bit recently, but surely he gets a start. I think we need to start him.
Yeah, I think we do. Like I was saying, we need the experience if we want to win. Because I don't think putting the youngsters up against a team that are pushing for playoffs is going to be a good idea.
Well, you say that, but I mean, you can't really say that because our team is full of youngsters.
I know it is, but we do have a couple of older people like Johnny Smith and, McManaman.
I wouldn't say Johnny Smith's that old. He's only 27, which I think is a average
yeah, but
age
when you think about our average squad age, it is much closer to early 20s than late 20s.
Yeah, it is, which is a bit scary at times, but is what it is. In left midfield, left wing even, it looks like they reckon that Michael Olakippi's back in with a start. He hasn't really done much for Wigan. He yet to score a goal for us, which is a bit disappointing. A league goal that is. He did score against Carlisle, but yeah, hopefully he can contribute. Asgard at Cam, that has to happen. Asgard's been arguably our best player so far this season. And then up front, they reckon Joe Hugel. Who are you taking, Kurt Hugel or Dale Taylor?
I think, for me, probably Dale Taylor. I think he's a much more solid option.
He is, but I think a good point would be that we've not really seen much of Hugel for a while now. I think he might be worthy of getting another league start.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, especially when obviously he was on at Chesterfield the other day and scored. But I just feel like Dale Taylor has a bit of an edge. Yeah,
he does, especially with the assists he's getting with Asgard. He's been contributing quite well with Asgard. But that is what they reckon the predicted team lineup will be. I mean, in terms of for Bolton, Bolton are missing quite a few players. They've got Josh Sheehan, big player missing. They've got Chris Farina missing, big player in Cal Dempsey, Owen Toyle and Carlos Mendes Gomez. There's five big squad players missing there. So we could cash in on that maybe. We could pounce and get past with their lack of quality, but
yeah. So if we play our cards right and sort of utilize some tricks, hopefully we can cash in on that, as you say.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a player we are missing is of course Dion Mankeen, and that is really disappointing to see him missing.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see any of our players missing, but especially when they have the ability to contribute something good to the pitch. In fixtures like this, it's ever more important to have them.
Yeah, well, Sean Maloney did comment that he reckons it doesn't look very good, but we can only hope that he makes a swift recovery. So
we wish.
If you listen to Rankine, so if you listen to Dion Rankine, get more soon, mate.
Yep.
But I think that's probably it for Bolton prep. I mean, we've said a lot in our last couple of podcasts. I've said a lot on social media.
Yeah. I mean, we were going to give a preview into the video, weren't we? But I think we'll keep that under wraps. You can wait until Saturday night, maybe Sunday.
Maybe, or we might leak the video. We might leak the opening intro maybe tomorrow afternoon. We'll see really how the video goes, but yeah.
Yeah, if we don't get it out for Saturday, we'll definitely give you a spoiler. But otherwise, I think it's better to keep it under wraps.
Definitely. Up next is part 3 of the video. I want to go through the Wigan Today articles. There's certainly a lot of rumours going around and transfer-wise, and also a lot about Maloney. Of course, BBC published about Maloney and his understanding of the Wigan discontent. Where do you stand on Maloney at the moment, Kurt?
I mean, obviously, like we've said over many times, obviously we can't fully blame him because he's not really backed by the board as such. So obviously we don't have free reign to get any players we want. So considering we've got to deal with the resources we have, obviously that's one constraint. But I do feel like Sean Maloney's tactics are not changing. So every single team that comes to the brick or we go to them, they're cashing in on it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Maloney, though, obviously, I mean, I just don't know where I stand on Sean Maloney, to be honest anymore.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. That's why I think that his tactics need to change. I think he's too firm in his ways. He's sticking with stuff, but it doesn't seem to work. Like, when we have a working team that wins a game, he'll still find a way to make a change next week, even though I would argue that it's probably better to keep it the same.
Definitely. But then again, though, I mean, let's say I mean, we beat Barnsley. We played Northampton. We didn't change much, and then we changed players. And players, but players have to change in football. I mean, you can't expect the same 11 to play week in, week out, can you?
No, you certainly can't. But what I'm saying is, if you know that these teams have got similar tactics, you need to try and keep stuff similar. Whereas changing half the squad isn't really going to solve the problems.
It isn't, but then obviously each team has their own different, unique way of playing. Like Bolton will play probably.
Of course they do. But this is what I'm saying. It seems like Maloney's going for the same tactics week in, week out, because we don't see any players, getting up there trying to score. Like when they get into that bit ready to score a goal, they just don't do anything with it.
Yeah, they don't. I think what I wanted to ask you and what you made of Lucas Danson's Sky Sports interview last weekend. What do you make of that, Kurt?
I mean, I haven't had the chance to watch it fully, and I mean, after the result of that game, I was pretty unmotivated to not watch it. So, as someone who hasn't really watched this, I can only imagine that it's trying to sort of, reassure us as supporters that things are going to be all right. But what you got to bear in mind as someone who's a fan of this is we're putting our money into this club by, buying season tickets, maybe buying the odd beverages there. Yeah. So, it's ever so more important that these clubs, obviously, I know they've set up advisory boards and stuff, but they need to make sure that they listen to the people, because you've got to bear in mind our attendances are just going down, and it's not looking good. Yeah, I get they want to promote sustainability, but if we're not getting people in the door, then we're not going to get to that point.
Yeah, but I just think that I mean, one of the main things that Lucas Danson did say, obviously, he mentioned the Warriors and that they've got obviously shares in the Warriors and they started to buy Wigan because they like the town and like the people. But if you ask me, that doesn't sound like a very logical explanation. Because it isn't like we were in a very good position and they wanted to buy a club that were doing well and we're not doing well, so it just doesn't make sense why they bought us, really. But
no, and this is the thing as well. When I got my season ticket, obviously I opted for the physical one. Now that came with a letter with it where it quite clearly outlined that these owners are ambitious to get us back up to eventually the Championship and then the Prem. But I just think that obviously they're trying to promote sustainability, but the thing is with football is there's ever so much more money going into it each year. It's going to get more and more difficult to try and, lessen the gap. Yeah. So I think sometimes you've got to put your money where your mouth is, because all investors will tell you this. Obviously, they'll invest in something, but it always comes with a risk. But they wouldn't do it if they knew that the risk wasn't going to make them a good return.
Yeah, definitely. But in terms of Sean Maloney, though, guys, I say it a few times. I just don't know where I stand with him anymore. I feel like, I keep saying that. I don't think any other manager could really do the same job as him. I feel like he's obviously got a lot of. He deserves credit for getting our team, because we did well last season under a lot of bad circumstances. We had an 8-point deduction, for God's sake, and we managed to get out of that quite well.
Yeah, I will always give him credit for what he did last season. A top half of the table finish with a -8 was a great achievement. Now, I know people gave him stick at the time, and I do say this week in, week out, but what other manager would have stuck through that, really?
Definitely. But, yeah.
Can I just go back to the sustainability thing? Because there was actually an article the other day on Wigan Today. It was called Wigan Athletic, the 12th Man. I have no problem with sustainability, but football is like no other business on earth. Now, I haven't fully read this article, but I can full well imagine that sort of, is similar to what I've been saying. Obviously, football is such a big business. Being sustainable is quite a challenge in itself, but you've got to sort of have the risk, to get people through the door.
Yeah, but I think obviously, it is about buying football. A lot of risks are taken, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work very well. So yeah, it is just a case of gambling, really, a lot in football.
Yeah, and I know it sounds harsh saying that you got to put your money where your mouth is, but there's potentially a chance to obviously capitalise on what you've spent. So, if you can do it in a reasonable manner, why don't you give it a go?
Yeah, definitely. I can make that anyone, because that is a topic that we could spend all day arguing and debating about.
It certainly is, but I think with Maloney, it's a very mixed bag, because he's got his good and he's got his bad. It's just like anything in life.
Yeah, it is. The next article is obviously we had a lot of rumours go around that we're interested in Accrington Stanley player Conor O'Brien, the young fullback. I think this is quite interesting, guys. I think he's been a good player recently for Accrington. He broke through in 2023. He had a good season last year. He's playing well this season, Kurt. I will say that you don't know much about him, but
no, I'm gonna Google him and see what his stats are looking like because I've never heard of this fella.
Because from what I've seen,
every time we mention Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup videos, it was like, who are they exactly?
To be fair, they've certainly come there. They've certainly come a long way since the late 80s, and they were a stable club in League Two for the time being. So we'll see what happens. Really.
Yeah. So I'm on Google, and Conor O'Brien, 14 matches, 0 goals, 1 assist, and 6 yellow cards.
It's not too bad. I think in League Two, obviously, being a younger player, these days in League Two, guys, I think being a young player is a great thing to have because, they seem to play the most out of any other player. So that's...
Yeah, and obviously when you say you see them develop, they could become someone great for your club and then you can end up profiting off them a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, so I'm looking into his stats and it says that obviously he's had 6 yellow cards this season, he's only played 14. But he played 24 matches last season and only got 5, so... What do you make of that?
Well. His all-time stats. He's made 58 appearances, got 3 assists, 14 yellow cards, and 1 red card. So, on paper, not bad. That really. I think in a fullback, it's important getting the pitch, getting the assist into the box. Yellow cards. There might be a bit of a discipline issue with him, but that's. That is before. Yeah.
Okay, so if we brought him in to Wigan, do you think they could help him with his discipline on the pitch?
I think so. I think we're a club that don't get too many red cards. I've not seen us get a red card for a while. I think the last red card I remember was Charlie Hughes against Barnes last season when he appealed and he got rejected. That's the last one I can remember. But I'm sure we've had a few since then. But
I don't think we actually have. I know we've had a lot of yellow cards, but I don't think we've ever had a red card since then.
Get yellow cards, don't we?
Of course they do. But I just think that seeing 6 in 14 is quite a lot, though.
Yeah, but being a right back, where do you see him playing, Kurt? Because I can't really see him. Obviously, we've got James Carragher and Civic. This is what I mean. Where does he come in?
I don't know, and this is the thing with our youths is they might be specialised in one thing, but I feel like with the setup of our club, it's kind of important that you have to be willing to learn how to play in a different position.
Well, I say that. I know that Civic can play centre back, so can Carragher. So they're both quite versatile. I suppose O'Brien could come in and he could be first choice for us in no time. So that's something to consider.
Could be. So this is why I'm saying if these players are able to play in multiple different positions, Sean Maloney needs to utilise this and change his tactics up a bit because it's one thing saying that this player is going to be playing in this position every week, but if they're capable of something else, you need to try it out.
Definitely. It does say in the article about that Sean Maloney's rumoured to be getting a decent little bit of backing in January transfer window. So hopefully we see us spend some money on some good players. O'Brien might be one of them. Hopefully we do see him come to the club. Another player on that list, it is Reading's Sam Smith, and I don't mean the singer. I mean the footballer, the striker from Reading. He doesn't seem too bad, to be fair. In 48 appearances for Reading, he scored 22 goals. That is since the start of the 2022, the 2023-24 campaign. Before that, he was at Cambridge and he had quite a good record there. So he's a player that's got a good handful of games and goals in League Two, League One even. So yeah, he's a good player, I think, going forward. What do you got, Anchor?
I think 22 goals in 48 games does sound quite promising. That's like, on average near one in every 2 games. So obviously we need the goals because when you look at some of our results, it's like we've had narrow losses of like 1-0. So, when a lot of that sort of stuff happens, if he can put one through the net and get us some draws, we'll be climbing points. Obviously not as fast as winning, but we're still getting points. So I think it'd be good if we can get someone in that can score the goals. But the thing is, with any player comes a hefty price tag. How much are we looking at for him?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, something I do want to say though is that obviously, Josh Jones is actually the only permanent striker we've got on a basis. So it's still Taylor and Joe Hughley over two, and they're going into the season. So realistically, I mean, when you think about that, that is a bit worrying, isn't it, Kurt?
It is, and I have said this multiple times as well. It's worrying about how many players we get that come in and out the door, at every single window. So it's ever so more important that we can actually have some players that are actually going to stay. Because, part of the sustainability, I would imagine, is having a solid team. And if your players are constantly coming in and out the door, I won't really call that sustainable. I just call it, an unorganized mess because it's constantly changing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you can't expect to stay up in League One if you're constantly changing the teams and then you're not scoring anything.
Yeah, no, I'd say, well, Kurt, and you should be employed at Wigan, and I think you might get there problem sorted quite quickly, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, I'm giving an ideal scenario, but obviously, with the amount of constraints this club's got, I don't think they'd be willing to take me on and say, oh, well, yeah, we'll do this, this, and this. No, we've got money constraints, which is fair enough.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of Sam Smith, his market value is currently 600k. I mean, he arrived at Reading on a free from Cambridge in 2023. So obviously, he's a bit more on the expensive side, more than we probably want to spend. But I think for the quality he might bring, it seems a good sign. It would seem a good piece of business, really.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. If we can get him in for a couple of years at that price, and he, gives us goals like he has for his other clubs, I think we'd be laughing. Because, I mean, like we've said, we got so much money from Charlie Hughes. Obviously, they used a lot of it to pay off the existing debt. But obviously, we reckon there's about $500,000 for, money to spend. So maybe that's something they should be looking into. I mean, obviously, if we do have a big spend like that, it might mean that we get more loans through the door. But as long as we're getting goals in, in an ideal world, that'd be all right. But I think, like I said, Sean Maloney, tactics need to change. If we get this player in, it might be a chance to see something different.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the in terms of money-wise, I mean, a player that's been heavily linked to the move away is Asgard, and Blackburn really are in pursuit of getting his name on a contract. I think John Eustace and Blackburn, and they want him. So, what's your take on that, Kurt?
Well, this is going to be probably quite an obvious take, but we can't really afford to sell him up. Like, he has been probably one of the best players for us this season. He's been up there, and I mean, especially considering his age, there's always room for improvement. And I think with the fact that he's getting constant game time here with All Athletics, he might not get that guarantee with Blackburn. I think he should stay.
But I do think though that he'll be definitely. I think I don't see him wanting to stay. I mean, if Blackburn can call on, he will go. I think can't see him staying really. But
now
obviously,
I get where you're coming from, but now, in the past, have we had other sort of interest for Asgard as of recent?
Yeah, we have. Blackburn, obviously, I mean, I think it was Blackburn also in the summer, so they've really held their...
So it's interesting why he's still stayed on since summer then. Because if you make it sound like he's ready to pack his bags. Which I do get that one day he will do that, but I don't think he's at that point. He's still quite young.
But I do, because I think in terms of lead placement, I mean, we're fighting relegation at the moment, whereas Blackburn are having a good season. I mean, they're stable in Championship. They're less likely to go down than we are. If we live in League Two, then I mean he'll go regardless. But I think I think when you think of, but then again though, his form is very good at Wigan this season. Whereas, like you say, Blackburn,
and this is why I don't think we can afford to give him up.
Yeah, I do agree on that one. But
I get that $3 million is a lot of money, but I mean we got more than that for Charlie Hughes to Hull City.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing with players though, I think it does really often. I think a player's morals come into factor because I mean, is Asgard a player who's going to be what's the word? He's going to be seen. I mean, he'll want more money, won't he? And if Blackburn offer him more money, we'll take
Yeah,
that.
but
We'll
then
take it.
so what you're trying to say here is he dedicated to Wigan in a way? Because what we've got to bear in mind is we've had Asgard for quite a while. Didn't he come up through the rankings at the academy and got called on when we were in administration? So I mean, he's been with us for quite a while. So if this is like his childhood sort of club and he's grown up with it, he might not be as willing to pack his bags. But like you said, when money comes calling, a lot of people will go. And I mean, when we always talk about Sam Tickle and Arsenal on deadline day, the fact he stayed was incredible.
It was. I mean, I think, but I think with Sam Tickle, I think Sam himself knows that he's not ready to. I mean, go to the Premier League yet. He knows himself that he's not at that level yet as a footballer. Whereas I think Asgard's form, it does suggest that he's probably more than ready to go, maybe up a league.
Yeah, but then the thing is with Blackburn is you've got to be careful as well, because if they keep their form up, they're going to get playoffs.
Well, yeah, and obviously, I mean, but then again, though, I do not think that Asgard's anywhere near ready for that sort of Premier League level. So I think you're all right. I think Wigan probably will be able to stay for at least the rest of the season. But if he goes, then I don't blame him, really.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really blame him because obviously, you only get one sort of shot at life. So if you want to climb up the ranks, then that's fair enough. That's your own sort of goal.
Yeah, definitely.
But if he's dedicated to Wigan and he wants to show it to us, then I think he needs to stay and help us with this relegation battle we might be facing if we're not careful.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. With Asgard, a good player, nice chap. I've met him myself, and he's a nice fellow to talk to, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly is. And I mean, Blackburn, it would be a good move for him in a way if he wants to go up the ranks. But I think sometimes you just got to sort of stay humble a bit.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a local move. So I mean, he wouldn't be moving too far away. But yeah. I mean, like I say, I think it all comes down to his morals and if he wants to stay or not. But yeah, I'm sure it happens with Tello. And with that, guys, that is it for episode 6 of Wigan Weekly. I hope you enjoyed watching, guys. I mean, Kurt, I've been through quite a bit of information there. Thanks for joining me as usual, Kurt.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikToks for obviously updates and extra content, especially on match days. We'll both be back next week for more Latics talk. So until then, guys, up the ticks.
Yeah, up the ticks, guys. I hope you enjoy watching Bolton game tomorrow, whether that's at home or whether you're going to the game itself.
Yeah,
enjoy, guys.
Certainly going to be a nail biter.
Yeah, it will be, and I'm not sure in a good way. But yeah, we will see you all next week, guys. Thanks for watching.